When considering the family affair ensemble and their roles, picture relishing the unmarried life, moving at your own relaxed pace until 3 kids unexpectedly enter your bachelor pad in Manhattan, transforming your total freedom into parental responsibility. Despite bringing happiness and solace to numerous homes, the remaining members of the cast firmly believe in the family affair curse, which has led to significant misfortune and even death for some. Today, we're delving into the lives of this unconventional family and exploring what they've been doing since the series concluded. Anissa Jones as Buffy Davis. Buffy epitomized the archetype of a young girl who cherished her beloved toys and felt deeply distressed when they went missing, particularly her cherished Mrs. Beasley doll. Anissa Jones portrayed the character of Buffy, marking her inaugural role in Hollywood. Additionally, she appeared as Carol Bix in the Elvis Presley comedy The Trouble with Girls in 1969. However, these roles, along with a final appearance on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In in 1971, marked the extent of Anissa's acting career. Tragically, Anissa Jones battled drug addiction, and at the tender age of 18, she succumbed to an accidental overdose. The combination of cocaine, PCP, Quaalude, and Seconal proved fatal. The coroner overseeing the case described it as one of the most severe instances he had encountered. Just 6 days following Anissa's passing, Dr. Don Carlos was apprehended and accused of illegally prescribing Seconal to Jones, among other drug-related charges aimed at profiting. In total, the doctor faced 11 charges but passed away while awaiting trial, a mere 4 months after Anissa. It was a profoundly sorrowful conclusion to the life of a promising young talent, a tragedy that continues to be mourned and discussed extensively across various social media platforms. Brian Keith as Uncle Bill Davis. Uncle Bill Davis finds his solitary existence turned completely around when, firstly, his 18-year-old niece arrives at his doorstep a year after her parents' passing due to her discord with her temporary guardians. By the episode's end, her younger twin siblings also become part of the household. Keith exudes warmth and paternal care towards the children, firm yet never unkind, and his reassuring smile brings comfort to all family matters. Brian Keith was born into a family of performers, with his father, Robert Keith, sharing the screen with Sinatra and Brando in the 1955 film Guys and Dolls. A young Brian, just 3 years old, even appeared alongside his father in 2 films, including Pied Piper Malone in 1924. In the early 1950s, as an adult, he began to establish his own career, landing roles such as 7 episodes on the series Suspense, and in 1956, starring alongside Anne Bancroft in the critically acclaimed crime drama Nightfall. Although perhaps best known for his role in The Parent Trap in 1961, Keith garnered even more recognition with his 3-time Emmy-nominated performance in Family Affair. Despite the series' 60-day production schedule, Keith filmed his scenes in just 30 days, allowing him flexibility for potential film roles, such as Reflections in a Golden Eye in 1967, alongside Brando and Elizabeth Taylor. In 1972, he headlined The Brian Keith Show. Keith remained active in both film and television, with notable roles including The Wind and the Lion in 1975, starring opposite Sean Connery as President Roosevelt. By the 1980s, he returned to television, starring in Hardcastle and McCormick as Judge Hardcastle. His final credits were awarded posthumously, with his last appearance in the 1999 film Follow Your Heart. Keith tragically passed away in 1997 from a self-inflicted gunshot wound after battling emphysema and lung cancer. Reports suggested he struggled with depression and financial difficulties. His death came just 2 months after his daughter, Daisy, also took her own life, Kathy Garver as Catherine Sissy Patterson Davis. Sissy was an outgoing teenager and a wonderful older sister, often shouldering the responsibility for her younger siblings, Buffy and Jody. Kathy Garver made her debut in 1953 and gained attention 3 years later for her role as one of the young slaves in Cecil B. DeMille's film, The 10 Commandments. Before landing her role in Family Affair, she had various minor roles, and while studying speech at UCLA, she secured the part that would ultimately alter her life. During the 70s and 80s, she transitioned to voice acting, appearing in 24 episodes of the animated spin-off The Fonz and the Happy Days Gang, as well as several Spider-Man cartoons. At 78 years old, she remains active in the industry, with 8 ongoing projects listed on her IMDb profile. Her most recent appearance was on the game show To Tell the Truth, where she showcased her best Dolly Parton impersonation. Like Dolly, Kathy continues to embrace her vibrant years. As of November 1994, Garver resided in Hillsborough, California, with her husband, David Travis, and their teenage son, Reed. On June 26, 2008, she took part in the Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony honoring Brian Keith with a posthumous star. Garver delivered a speech on his behalf. In 2009, she co-wrote the Family Affair cookbook with Jeffrey Mark. In September 2015, she released her autobiography, Thriving with Sissy, My Journey Through Hollywood, Heather Angel as Miss Faversham. Angel portrayed Giles French's close companion. Heather Angel entered the entertainment industry in 1931. Her first major role was in the 1933 film Berkeley Square, alongside Leslie Howard. Angel appeared in numerous British films. Her screen debut was in City of Song. She then starred in Night in Montmartre, 1931, and gained further acclaim with The Hound of the Baskervilles, 1932. She embarked on a journey to New York aboard the Majestic on December 21, 1932, accompanied by her mother. In the following years, she delivered notable performances in films such as The Mystery of Edwin Drood, 1935, The Three Musketeers, 1935, The Informer, 1935, and The Last of the Mohicans, 1936. In 1937, she began a recurring role as Phyllis Clavering in the popular Bulldog Drummond series. She portrayed Kitty Bennett in Pride and Prejudice, 1940, and played the role of Ethel, the maid, in Suspicion, 1941. Angel also starred in the first film adaptation of Raymond Chandler's The High Window, released in 1942 under the title Time to Kill. She was among the cast of Alfred Hitchcock's Lifeboat, 1944. Angel married Robert B. Sinclair, 1905-1970, a director in film and television in 1944. On January 4, 1970, an intruder named Billy McCoy Hunter broke into their residence. Sinclair attempted to shield Angel from harm, but Hunter fatally wounded him before fleeing the scene. He was reportedly apprehended with a knife and a firearm. The incident is believed to have been an unsuccessful burglary attempt. Angel and Sinclair had a son together in 1947. In 1986, Angel passed away due to cancer in Los Angeles. Angel is honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for her contributions to the film industry, located at 6301 Hollywood Boulevard. Sebastian Catt as Mr. Giles French. Giles French served as Bill Davis's household manager and provided a paternal presence for the children. Cabot's portrayal of this refined and stern but ultimately kind-hearted character resonated deeply with audiences. He found immense satisfaction in his role on the show, contributing to the overall warmth and family-oriented nature of Family Affair. Sebastian Catt embarked on his acting career in 1935. He gained recognition for his performance as the Wazir in the 1955 film Kismet and as Dr. Carl Hyatt in the television series Checkmate during the early 1960s. Catt later took on the role of host Winston Essex in the supernatural anthology Ghost Story, 1972, which was later retitled Circle of Fear after his departure. Following the conclusion of the series, he portrayed Kris Kringle in the television adaptation of Miracle on 34th Street, 1973. To fit the role, Catt had to shave his trademark beard, which he had sported since 1957, as makeup artists struggled to achieve the desired Santa Claus appearance. Additionally, Catt appeared in The City That Forgot About Christmas, 1974, another Christmas-themed television film, and provided narration for two Winnie the Pooh projects, Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2, and The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. In 1967, he released an album featuring spoken recitations of songs by Bob Dylan, titled Sebastian Catt, Actor, Bob Dylan, Poet. 2 tracks from this album were included in the Rhino Records compilation Golden Throats, The Great Celebrity Sing-Off. On Broadway, Catt portrayed the character Buckram in Love for Love, 1947. On August 23, 1977, Catt suffered a stroke at his residence near Victoria, British Columbia, and was subsequently transported to a local hospital, where he passed away at the age of 59. John Williams as Nigel Niles French. John Williams portrayed Nigel Niles French in the series. His acting journey commenced on the English stage back in 1916, where he graced productions such as J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, Francis Nordstrom's The Ruined Lady, and Frederick Lonsdale's The Fake. Williams made his debut in Hollywood cinema with a role in director Mack Sennett's short film, The Chumps, 1930. Throughout his career, he appeared in over 40 films, including 2 other collaborations with Hitchcock, The Paradigm Case, 1947, alongside Gregory Peck, where he played a minor role as a barrister, and To Catch a Thief, 1955, featuring Cary Grant and Grace Kelly, in which Williams portrayed a significant character, a representative from Lloyd's of London Insurance. In the 1960 thriller Midnight Lace starring Doris Day, Williams portrayed a London police inspector similar to his character in Dial M for Murder. Apart from his notable association with Hitchcock, Williams starred in 3 films directed by Billy Wilder: Sabrina, 1954, Witness for the Prosecution, 1957, and The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, 1970. However, in Holmes, his scenes were among the 60 to 75 minutes edited out by the studio before the film's release, when they decided against its intended roadshow format. Unfortunately, Williams's scenes, along with most of the deleted content, remain lost. Williams passed away at the age of 80 on May 5, 1983, in La Jolla, San Diego, California. Reports indicated that he had been battling a heart condition at the time of his death. Sherry Alberoni as Sharon James. Her most significant recurring television role was portraying Sharon James on Family Affair, 1966-71. Alberoni joined the Mickey Mouse Club as a replacement for the second season and was placed on the Blue Team. While she had limited solo performances during her tenure with the club, she participated in numerous audience scenes featuring guest stars and circus acts. Her adult career in show business was extensive, including providing voices for animated cartoons. In 1980, Alberoni participated in the televised Mouseketeer reunion, where she had the opportunity to tap dance with the Red Team. Sherry was involved in live performances at Disneyland during the 1980s as part of the Mouseketeer cast. Additionally, she frequently appeared alongside Bobby Burgess in personal appearance tours for Mouseketeers throughout the late 1980s and 1990s. Alberoni has been married to Dr. Richard Van Meter since 1971, and they have 2 grown daughters and 4 grandchildren. They currently reside in Southern California. Throughout her life, she has dedicated time to volunteer work for charitable organizations. Nancy Walker as Emily Turner. In 1970, she landed a repeating role as Emily, the maid, on the TV show Family Affair. In 1937, under the name Nan Bartow, Walker made appearances on the NBC radio programs Coast to Coast, On a Bus in Our Barn. She debuted on Broadway in 1941 in Best Foot Forward. This marked her introduction to the film industry when she signed a deal with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer to star in the 1943 movie adaptation featuring Lucille Ball. Walker also acted alongside Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland in the second adaptation of Girl Crazy, 1943. Her subsequent film, Broadway Rhythm, where she showcased a notable musical performance with Tommy Dorsey and his orchestra in Milkman, Keep Those Bottles Quiet, concluded her contract with MGM. Walker guest-starred as Rhoda's mother, Ida Morgenstern, in multiple episodes of The Mary Tyler Moore Show and reprised the role in its spin-off Rhoda. Once she established the character, Walker directed numerous episodes of both series, as well as episodes of other sitcoms. Walker married twice. Her first spouse was Gar Moore, whom she wed on August 1, 1948. Their marriage ended in divorce within 10 months. She later married David Craig, a musical theater instructor, on January 29, 1951. Craig passed away in 1998 at 75 years old from lung cancer. Walker, a supporter of Adlai Stevenson's presidential campaign during the 1952 election, was a member of the Democratic Party. She succumbed to lung cancer on March 25, 1992, at 69 years old, in Studio City, California. John Hubard as Ted Gaynor. John Hubard portrayed Ted Gaynor in the series. MGM decided to change Hubbard's stage name to Anthony Allen and featured him in minor feature films and short subjects for 1 year. In 1939, Hal Roach signed John Hubard, using his birth name, as one of 5 promising young actors with the potential to become stars. The other 4 were Lon Chaney Jr., Victor Mature, Carol Landis, and William Bendix. Roach noticed something special in Hubard, whose attractive appearance made him suitable for romantic roles, while his acting abilities allowed him to excel in comedy. He appeared in The Housekeeper's Daughter, 1939, and Turnabout, 1940. But when Roach shifted focus from full-length features to shorter films, Hubard sought roles elsewhere. In 1951, Hubard performed on stage alongside Mary Bryan in a comedy, Mary Had a Little, in Melbourne, Australia. He also ventured into network radio, taking over the role of Alice Faye's brother Willie from Robert North in the 1953-54 season of the Phil Harris-Alice Faye Show. Between acting gigs, Hubard worked as a car salesman and managed a restaurant. He retired from acting in 1974 after appearing in a supporting role in Herbie Rides Again, although he made a final appearance in a television film in 1980. Hubard was married to his high school sweetheart, Lois, for nearly 5 decades. They had 3 children together, Lois, Jane, and John. On November 6, 1988, Hubard passed away at the age of 74 in a nursing home in Camarillo, California. Johnny Whitaker as Jonathan Jody Patterson Davis. Jody is a lovable and familiar character with his ginger hair and freckles and forms one part of the twins. He was a responsible youngster, quite the opposite of Dennis the Menace. Jody was grounded and sincere. Johnny Whitaker began his acting career in commercials in the early 60s, and in 1966 he appeared in a significant film, The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming, which also featured Brian Keith. During his time as a child performer, he made guest appearances on various popular shows, including 2 episodes of Green Acres and 3 of Gunsmoke. He continued his highly successful career as a child actor with the Saturday morning series Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, created by Sid and Marty Krofft in 1973. That same year, he delivered an outstanding performance as Tom Sawyer in the film adaptation of the classic novel. However, Johnny faced significant challenges as he transitioned into adulthood. He battled addiction, particularly after experiencing a failed marriage and abandoning his Mormon faith. He encountered legal troubles, having been arrested twice, and admitted in an interview that he had lost everything. His family staged an intervention and gave him an ultimatum: either get clean or face excommunication. Fortunately, he managed to overcome his struggles and achieve sobriety. Since then, he has pursued a career as a certified mental health professional, specializing in drug and alcohol counseling. Reportedly, Johnny and his on-screen sister, Kathy Garver, had some tensions during the final seasons of the show. However, they reconciled a few years ago to put their differences aside. Johnny offered an apology during an episode of Oprah's Where Are They Now segment, to which Kathy responded, If you had taken the time to express gratitude for all the opportunities I arranged for you during those years, it would have been greatly appreciated. In recent times, he has returned to acting. At the age of 64, he couldn't resist reprising his role in the 2016 Amazon revival of Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Additionally, audiences saw him make a recent appearance in a 2021 episode of the series TV Therapy. Who among you possesses a Mrs. Beasley doll? Feel free to drop a comment down below and share any memorable episodes you remember. Your input is valuable to us. Remember, as long as we keep them in our thoughts, these actors and characters will live on forever.